abuse and misuse are defined in different ways. Either the drugs were not prescribed or the drugs were used not the way it was instructed. I welcome you to People's Voice, and my name is Kaliobi. And today on the streets of Lagos, people will be bearing their minds on drug abuse in the society. Come with me, we're doing this together.
It's not parents, it's not government, it's the company of doing the drugs have issue. Why then we do something like drugs? It's not okay. I am not going to take drugs. It will make me shock and do behavior anyhow. It's not good for children nowadays because of their brain is very intelligent of that drugs is not okay.
Each of the group you've mentioned have their own fair share to be blamed, of the blame. Let me start from the family. You talk about orientation, because when you talk about socialization actually starts from the home, from the parents, the upbringing, right from their infant stage. You know, in life, when a child comes into this world, there's this stage that is called tabula rasa. Tabula rasa means a stage whereby there's nothing in his or her brain. So it's what we feed into the children that they grow up with and they tend to live with. Now let me come to the government. Okay, government, you know, frustrations, you know, societal challenges, juvenile delinquents, and lack of control, because government doesn't control the company. The company have a way of making all those things accessible to various people. For instance, there are drugs that are not sold behind the counter. There are some drugs, if you want to get them, you must need to get doctor's prescription. You cannot go to the pharmacy and have access to such drugs. But what happens? Some government agencies like NAFDAC, SON, that's a Standard Organization of Nigeria, NAFDAC, they don't play their roles anymore. Anything goes. People get those things through illegal means. A child or juveniles can move into the pharmacy and obtain such drugs. Then with this situation, government will have its own fair blame, because these are drugs like talk about tramadol, talk about codeine. They do get them through the black market. That if government plays their role in controlling the society concerning the influx of such illicit drugs, then the youths or the children or whatever might not have access to them. Now I'm talking about the company. Company is a business organization, and their primary aim is to do what? To make profit. So they are profit-oriented organizations. They are not there to just joke. So whatever they do to get profit, they go about it. That is why control is inevitable. So when those companies are not being controlled, they can go to any length to get their products marketed. And you see, it's like a football team. If a goalkeeper does not keep well, all the efforts of the footballers, the strikers or so, will be in vain. And just like strikers, if they don't play well, the same thing. So it's like a teamwork. Team in the sense that the family will need to play their role, the government will play their role, and the company go play their role. With that, you have a wonderful egalitarian society. Thank you so much.
Talking about drug abuse, the problem lies in the hands of our government, because there are agencies controlling drug like the NAFDAC and the NDLA. The government should make efforts to organize more seminars in the community, so to talk to educate youth on drug abuse, and then like the NAFDAC, drugs like tramadol, codeine, Reflon, and all shouldn't be sold in the public or in pharmacies. That's what I have to say.
Based on what is happening in the country today, the country in quantum, I may say we blame the government, because if things was okay, I don't think so many people were involved in that aspects.
First and foremost, I will blame the three angles to it: the parents, the government, and the company that produces it. But the fact remains that the major blame will lie on the parent, because while growing up, if you tutor your kids, your children very, very well, if you show them the way of God, show them the way, we have culture, we have values in this country. And when a parent tries to preserve culture and value, I believe they will be able to put that or inculcate that or send that into the children. In a case where we have a working parent, father lives home, mother lives home, nobody, maybe they leave the child in the care of the nanny, blah, 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 or the society at large to train that child, how would that child not eventually look for what will excite him or her by and large? Because this is sometimes, they feel is what excites them. And at the end of the day, they get addicted. So, but when the parents is there to checkmate these children, you understand, when they want to go wrong, when they want to go astray, sometimes when they remember the cautions and of the parent, they withdraw, they are checkmated, they remember their parents. Before you came, we were discussing a child that joined a group, he's a barber, and he joins his friends. They just bought a car, only God knows where they got the money, and eventually they want to go to club and all that. They got to club, they got themselves soaked with drugs here and there, and on their way coming, this thing just happened about 3 days ago. They had an accident. The leg of the guy and the feet now is about to they are saying that they will amputate it. These are part of what we are saying. So, on the part of parents has a lot to do in the life of a child by really making sure that we train up our children. So the whole thing boils down to the parents. Whatever government will go and go. This company will come and go. Parent. Eventually the parent leaves, a generation continues. And here and there so go. So that is how it is. Thank you so very much.
The society we have now is not sane. Everybody is to blame. Like I told you that I came from a Christian home, and I have the Christian norms in me, and I know I gave my children the Christian norms too, and I know they will give their own grandchildren, my own grandchildren, the Christian norms too. So I believe that if we all have that Christian norm, or if you're a Muslim, you have that Muslim norm in you, you see, things will be better. Then you said the society. Yes, the society. Because you will see people in those days, if I do something wrong, the landlord in the next building sees me that I have done something wrong, he will not even report me, he will beat me. But what's the society doing now? They say, not my child, I cannot touch another person's child. It is wrong. The Yoruba they says, ojú kan ló ń bímọ, ìgbà ojú ló ń wò. It is only one person that will give birth to a child, but it is more than 20 people that will take charge of that child.
The society is actually corrupt. Do you understand it? You can mostly parents actually have some of the blames, but most time you don't have to blame the parents too. You see, one thing is influence, bad influences. Do you understand? You can't keep watch of your kids 24 hours. You said you just have to fend for yourself. You need to go out, hustle, to put food on the table. And government actually has its role to play. Do you understand it? Fine. I actually blame everything. Why I'm putting government into this is because almost everybody now has psychological problem. Everybody is not mentally stable in this country now because things are not actually going well as we planned. So most times the reason why they are busy is because sometimes they just want to stabilize their mental thinking. Everybody should have a role to play in this thing. We can't blame the youth taking it, then we don't actually support them too. It is wrong.
If we say the government, I don't really know much on that, but if it's the family, we know pressure within the home can frustrate people to do stuff, and it might be from I don't know if it should be from the company, but companies, they do make drugs for people to use so they can get better, not for people to abuse. So it depends on the way you use it. So That's what I feel I can share.
Yeah, I think it's the parents, because if the parents give them proper training, they won't go out and be misbehaving. And if they have proper background, they won't be led into drugs. And they should mind the kind of friends they follow.
We can't blame government for drug abuse, man. And we can't even blame the company itself. And we will blame ourselves, because government didn't send us to go and take drug. It's what they wish to do. It's what all these youth people used to do. What they wish to do it. That's why they are doing it. Nobody is teaching. They're just copying themselves. It's not even their parents. Some of them, their parents don't know they are taking drug. Just that maybe their friends, one of their friends is doing it, so them two want to copy, and they think it's just maybe big boys or that's what. We can't blame government. It's not government.
I think all stakeholders have a part to play in it. The government, because of the poor supply chain, that's logistics. The parents, because of ignorance. The youth, recklessness. So everybody has a part to play in the misuse of drugs in Nigeria.
With my own suggestion, anybody who wants to buy that drugs, they must to have the doctor permit, that is doctor tell them to go and buy these drugs. Without no doctor sign or anything, they should not sell the drugs.
Some of these drugs are actually pain reliefs, so when they use it for long, they get addicted to it. So if you can substitute the pain relief to something else, or inform them that when you use it, you don't get to use it very often, so they can help, because some of them with the pain, they tend to use it for long, and when they use it for long, they get addicted to it, so they use it every time. Even when they use something lesser than the one that gets them high, it won't work for them. So it's just by educating them.
I feel if we engage them in talks and educational programs and try our possible best to make them abstain from it, there should be changes and betterment, I guess.
There should be a public enlightenment on the youth of the dangers of drugs to their health.
What we need to do is control how they are used. If the drugs are only dispensed to those that actually need it, the doctors prescribe for people that actually need it. And there's a proper sanitization of the logistics system of drug supply, purchase, and sales in Nigeria. We shouldn't be having this problem.
So the question now is, who is to be blamed for drug abuse in the society? Is it the government? Is it the parents? Or the family? Or the company that produces this drug? So come to our comment section and drop your comment. Be good, be kind, and remember to love yourself. So till I see you again on People's Voice,